we have data. Okay, so that data is stored in HDFS. When it's stored in HDFS, the data will go in the form of blocks. Correct? The blocks are physical data, right? To read that physical data, there is something called why we need to read, because it has to process by a single mapper. What is mapper? Mapper is a one piece of logic which will execute on each mapper, or each split, right? So what it will do after executing, it will process the data and it will take the results. Correct? Right. So that mapper, that mapper, if it wants to process that, if you want to process that data, what it has to do? It needs some mechanism. It needs some mechanism where it can read where it can read the data. So you should know from where to where it has to read the data, and it has to read properly. It has to read properly. How it can read properly? So there should be some mechanism who can tell that you read from here to here. You process the data from this point to this point. So that mechanism is called input split. What is input split? Input split is the logical representation of a block or a piece of data which can be processed by a single mapper. Clear, guys? I think people are no, I don't know why people are some people are facing some problem, it seems. Anyone facing any problem, guys?
Yeah, I'm not able to see the screen.
Screen I not share, so I can just share screen. You can look at the screen. How the input splits will be calculated? So someone should calculate the input splits, right? How the input splits will be calculated? Who will calculate the input splits? It is based on the input format. Input format will calculate the input splits. What is the input format?
Text
What?
well,
Sorry?
text form.
No. Input format. What is the input format? What is the input format? Guys, what is the input format?
Input file formatted.
Yeah, what is the input file
Input
format?
file format. It's either text, text or any other PDF.
Yeah. So input file format says that what type of data it is, what type of data I'm going to process, what type of data we are going to process. Is it a text file, or is it a sequence file, or is it a some different kind of file? So input file format decides what type of data it is, how it has to read, how it has to process. Okay, how it has to how many mappers has to launch for this input split, for this input data. How can I how it has to read the data from it, then how it is processed to it. Understand, guys? Okay, let's look at how input formats will be get calculated. Input splits will be get calculated. This is very much important. Let's look at, there is some formula. If it is a text input file format, it has its own formula. If it's something different file format like a sequence file or different kind of file formats, they will have their own input split calculation. They will have their own input split calculation. They'll be having their own input split calculation. So how many splits has to be calculated? It is the based on the formula or based on the input file format. Clear? Let's look at the code. Okay, let me show you the source code, so then it will be easy for you to understand. Let me Where is the source code? Yeah, let me start my Eclipse. So let it start. Once it is start, I'll show you in the source code. So if you see the source code of the Mapreduce framework, it will be easy to know you to understand. Okay, this is what happening internally. What is input split, guys? What is input format? What is input format? What is input split?
Logical representation of blocks.
Yep. Input split is a logical representation of a data or piece of data or chunk of data which will be processed by single mapper. Which will be processed by single mapper. Why it's taking this much time today? Okay. Let me show you. There are so many input formats. Suppose if you want to get the data from the RDBMS, suppose you want to connect to a database, get the data to MapReduce. Yes, you have something called DB input file format. I mean DB input format. Okay, you have a file input format. Let's take a file input format, and also we should take from the proper package. There are so many out there. We should get from the some Hadoop core. Okay, let it be that. I'll select the different one now. Input format. For the sequence file, we have something called sequence file input format, but it has in the binary. There are as a text or as a binary. There are different things. Okay, you have something called sequence file input format also. Okay, and what we are looking for, text input file format or text input format. It is from the repository. Okay, why it is coming like this? Yeah. good, it is converted. Mm, not text, it is open test is something different. Let it convert into, it's downloading the source here. If you see, yeah, so text input format, it is external from the file input format. File input format is the parent class, and that parent class has some I mean this is a parent class from where uh, all the properties and where how to what is input split, what how input split has to be, your multiple path filters. There are some set of methods in parent class, whether it is a splittable or not. There are some things is available in the parent class. So but when you write for the specific to text input file format, yes, we'll go with the text input file format here. And if you see, the text input file format delimiter is /n here. The delimiter is /n. He's trying to get from where? From the configurations. Let's look at, he's trying to get from the configuration. This configuration will give you a config object. This config object will give you a Maoreduce config object. This config object is your job conf, mapred job conf. If you go to job conf, if you go to job conf, I mean, I just want to show you how the link is, okay? So don't get confused if you didn't understand the code, okay? Don't get confused because I know people are not from the Java background. So if you're not able to follow the Java code and all, don't worry, because it's a source code. You don't need to, nothing to do with it. So what I'm trying to do here to make you understand, to make sure that I'm showing you there is something proof. I'm not telling you now like something is magic. The input split will be calculated magically. No. So I'm showing you how it is getting calculated, and all those things I'm showing you here with the proof. Like a proof in the sense with it's going through your what you call with the source code. Okay. In the getConf class, in the conf, you go to configuration. In the configuration, it will read all the configuration files. Okay, that configuration anyway I'll show you. The delimiter configuration I'll show you. Let's first go back to our text input format. Text input. Let's remove this test. We don't need the test. Here, just come down. Just come down. Whether the file is splittable. Whether the file is splittable. Yes, file is splittable. What is the file is splittable or not? What is that? What is a file splittable? What is a file splittable? Means, do you want me to process the whole file as a single mapper, or you want me to split the file? Let me explain this method, guys, first. Okay, so splittable method says that here the whole file we have split it into two parts. Whether you need to split this file while processing, or you want me to read as a single file. So if you don't want to split, suppose here I have to launch multiple mappers, and the multiple what you say here, the multiple mappers will be launched and they will be processed separately. If you don't want to split the file, because if you split the file you will not get the proper results, let's say that kind of scenarios, you can go with splittable, is written false. If it is splittable written false, you don't need to split the whole file. It will be processed by single mapper only. Even it is take a fine because I want the accurate results by processing a single file with a single mapper. Understand everyone? What is a splittable? See, let's say you have an image. Okay, if you split the image, you may not able to get the proper results. So because when you split it, what will happen? There will be two different mappers will be processed differently, and they may give the two different outputs that will be combined by the reducer. That will be aggregated by the reducer. But my file should not be split. If I start splitting the file, I may get the wrong results. So if I get processed by single mapper, then only it will give me accurate results. So that kind of scenarios will go with the e-split. You have to override your e-split method and return false. You have to override your e-splittable method, and you have to what you say, you have to return false here. You just need to override, you just need to pop return false here. That's it. Okay, let me go to
Ravi,
this. Yeah.
This split happens when loading into HDFS itself, right?
No, no,
Not
that is a block. That is a block. This is input
yeah.
split.
bla- Okay, you mean to say that it's already in different nodes in terms of blocks,
Hmm.
but single mapper should process it,
If
not
you
or
want,
multiple
yes,
mapper.
yes. If you say e-splittable false, it will
Yes.
process by single mapper.
Okay, that case, one mapper will start processing on node 1.
Then you
That
start copying.
result it will carry and it will go to
Yes.
node 2 block,
No, 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 no,
and again
no.
it kind of like, no?
No, what it will do, it's a logical split, right? It will logically reads the
Mm-hmm.
data. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
when the mapper is launched on one machine, yes, it
Mm-hmm.
will try to bring the other block data to this machine only. It's not like it will carries
Okay, if
the
this
things.
n number of nodes have that same data, so logically input fit will bring all the n number of blocks
Hmm.
into one, and it will process it and it will give the single result.
Yes, yes. So it's ideally parallel processing won't be there. It will be sequential
Okay,
process.
okay, okay, okay.
Okay, so let me show you here minimum split size. You can get the minimum split size. What is the minimum split size? 1. It's a file input format. Okay, what is the minimum split size? 1. Okay, and let me show you the formula. Formula is very simple, guys. Max of your minimum split size, comma, min of long value, comma, your block size. I'll show you the formula here. That will make you very much clear. What is your minimum split size? This is there in the configuration. I'll show you this configuration as in the map.site.xml. You can set the maximum split size. Okay, the maximum split size which is coming from from the file input format. So based on the file input formats, it will change. Okay, let me show you that. So I'm trying to show you that how it will calculate. Yeah, get splits. Get splits. It will call the method called get splits, and this get splits math of. Okay, let me go to that exact what to say, the exact formula, then you can easily understand. Here only get splits, and where you can get the minimum size and where you can get the maximum size. Where you can get the minimum size and maximum size, compute splits. This one, go this method, compute splits. So here it's getting computed the splits. See the method, max of minimum split size. What is the minimum split size, guys? 1. Right, it is based on the input file format. Some file formats has something different. Some format has a 1, some has a 0. Okay, some has 0. So let's take the same formula, exactly how the formula is looking here. Take into, let's look at here. May I clear this? I hope everyone is understood this, how the splits will be calculated. So now see here how the split will be calculated. What is the formula? Anyone read out? Guys, anyone read out? No one, huh?
Max
Max of
dot max of
minimum
min size
size
comma Math dot
min of
min
I
of
mean, we'll not take
max
math dot means math is one class. From there it is calling one method. So min of
method. Okay. Min of
maximum size
max size comma.
block size, it is your normal block size. Okay, now let's implement this. Here I will have to okay, Shilpa, yeah, you can see this. Replace the values. What is the minimum split size? 1. Minimum of what is the maximum size? Maximum size is, guys, here the maximum value of your long value. So try to look at here. Try to look at here. Maximum size means the maximum value of your maximum file the maximum value of your long value. It will be very big value, guys. Let me show you that. Okay, what is that? What is the our maximum value? Long dot max value. What is the max value of long value? See, your integer, your float, your double, everyone has a minimum and maximum, right? Yes or no? Minimum value or maximum value. This maximum value is
Yes, yes,
this.
right.
Look at, guys, here. This is the maximum value. It's a very big value, guys. 922 922 triple 922 triple two. Sorry. Double 922 double 3 720. It's a very big value. Let me take that value as well. Let me take that value as well. We should not blindly understand, oh, something is there, some will calculate the input split. No. So I'm showing you a proof how internal it converts. So it's so there is something called who calculates the input split based on the input format. Okay, this is one type of input format. There may be a different file format who will use a different logic. Okay, what is the block size? Now, what is the block size?
64 MB, no?
Let's say if this is Hadoop 2, so we can say
128 MB.
128 MB. So 128 MB in KBs. 128 MB in bytes instead of going for okay, you can also find here only. So this is and this is and compute. You go to compute, the compute method, compute splits. You can understand here the block size. This is the block size. The block size is they're getting from the file itself. They're getting the block size. Look at here. This is the block size. And what is your block size? Your block size is getting from you'll be getting from configurations, guys. Block size you're getting from configurations. You don't need to worry about it. So this dot block. So from where I'm getting this, the replication, block replication length is a directory, or is it a directory, or it is a file, or what is the modification time, what is the access time, what is the m time means, I mean modification time, access time, permissions, who is the owner, who is the group. All this information will call from where? File status. See this file status. Who is calling the file status? It's a file status class. It's a file status class. So from the file status class, it's the constructor. This constructor is getting, okay, let's look at who is calling this method. I mean this class. Who is creating object this? Okay, anyway, so all this information will come from their file system information metadata, I can say. All this information is coming from um, in memory file status FTP. S3 has S3 own. It's native. So let me get it from here. Okay, look at guys here. This is the F status. This is getting called in a test tracker or a distributed cache manager, where is a fake management. So here you can get the last modified date, access date, and what is your, this is the block size. This is the block size. Okay, so our block size is, let's assume that our block size is, anyway, let's go back, replication and block size, and our block size 128 MB, anyway we know that. But even though they are hard coded, but it will be replaced by your configuration. Okay, where it will read from your what you say, property file, the fs image file. Okay, metadata file. We have seen the metadata sometime before, right guys? Okay, I'll see. Let's take 128 MB into 1024 KBs into 1024 bytes. What it is? Your bytes. Let's take, I know that people are getting confused, but still, please bear with me. I'll explain you detailedly. Okay, 1 2 5 8 2 9 1 2 0. These two values, this is one value, this is one value. What is the minimum value? The minimum function means to get the minimum value in this. What is the minimum value? What is the minimum value here?
Block size.
Block size is the minimum value. So it will give me a block size only, right? Because it is so many digits are there, 2 4 6 6 8 10 12 14 16 18 19 digit number it is. Long value is like 19 digit number. It is just a 2 4 6 8 9 digits. So anyway, the block size is your block size is your minimum number. So from this minimum function I got the minimum value. Min function will give you minimum value only, right? Minimum function will give you minimum value only, right? So in these two values, what is the maximum value? In these two values, what is the maximum value? Block size. Correct? Correct or not?
Yes, yes, right.
So now your input split equal to block size. Your input split equal to block size. Yes or no? It has been proved with your code, the file input format code. Most of the cases, that's what I'm trying to say. 98 to 99% of the cases, your block size and your split size will be similar in the text input file format. In a very rare scenario, there may be a little data needs to be copy from other block. So very rare cases. Okay, very rare cases. Understand guys? Now are you guys clear about the how input split calculated?
Yes, right.
Okay, guys, I may not able to see your chart. Please respond to me, so then I can make sure that you guys understood.
May I explain once again?
You want me to explain one more time? So you guys can ask me, no? That's, I'm very much happy to explain one more time. Okay, there is nothing wrong into understanding multiple times. Okay, see how input split will be calculated. It has some formula. So text input file format follows some formula. The formula is max of minimum size comma, I mean minimum split size. It is minimum size is nothing but minimum split size comma min of maximum size comma block size. Maximum size comma block size. Minimum maximum size is the your long value maximum size. So like your primitive data types, int value, long value, double value, these values are there, right? Each and every value will be having a minimum value and maximum value. So this max size is represents the long value, how much big data, how much value you can store in the, what is the maximum range. So what is the integer
Any
range?
default?
Sorry,
Max size is the default one, that is.
Yeah, that's the default one, correct. The maximum size is default one. This is the maximum size is default one. This is the default one. Okay, and this is your block size. So this block size can be your 128 MB we have considered. Suppose you have changed to 64 MB, so we have to consider 64 MB. Suppose if you have to change to 32 MB, we have to consider 32 MB. Suppose you have to change to 256. So based on the based on the configuration what you have modified, we have to consider that block size. Okay, so the block size is 125. This is the block size in a bytes, in a bytes. Then when I compare these two values, this is the minimum, your block size is the minimum value because it's a very big value. It is a very big value, right? This is very big value and this is a small value. So minimum value was, it's nothing but your block size. You're nothing but your block size. And the formula what it says, maximum of your minimum split size. Minimum split size is 1, comma, minimum of the long value, comma, your block size. So always minimum gives you minimum value which is a block size here. And so here now it's a maximum value I need to find out. 1 and some value is there. So what is the maximum value in that? Block size only in this case. Okay, so now you got your block size. So what is the formula is for what? This formula is for what? Input split, right? This formula is for input split. So your input split is equal to block size. Your input split is equal to block size. Understood? People will surely ask you how the input split will be calculated. You can say the input split will be based on the input format. So one input format have their own way to calculate the different ways. So one of the ways, let's say if I take a text input file format, it is extends the file input format class. The file input format class, I have something called compute split size. The compute split size computes. So this is the formula: max of minimum splits comma min of maximum value comma block size. Clear about the input split? Okay, now guys, is everyone is understood about the input split? This is very much important. That's why I'm taking 2-3 days for the explaining input split. Supreet?
Ravi, in this case, in this case, always it is the block size, or it is
Always
in very rare case that it will change, right?
very rare case it will change. It's most of the cases it will block size.
Okay.
So why I have told you yesterday, it may go beyond the block. So that's what, you don't assume always it will be a block size only. There may be a chance it will go. See, it's a, so what is the delimiter I have shown? I didn't show you the value of the delimiter. What is the delimiter for your text file? Slash and character. Okay. In a single line,
Slash n.
in the
You're
single
right.
line, there may be a very rare scenario, small part of the data might go to some other block. Correct? If I consider this is one block and this is one block,
Yep.
very small part, still slash and only I need to consider it is. Even though if its complete line goes to other block, I will not consider this block, this line for this block. Only part of the data only it will go. So anyway, I can understand that. I can get that line. Understood, guys? Okay. So now I hope everyone understood how the input split is calculated. Srikanth, Srini, Suman, Sunil. So guys, don't hesitate to ask me. You guys ask me, I'm ready to explain 10 times, 20 times, any number of times I'm ready to ask. You guys need to understand. That's the main important. Anila, Devashish,
Got it,
Masuda.
Ravi. We'll see.
Okay, fine. I'm assuming everyone understood because no one is raised their voice. Let's clear this. Now, the input splits has been calculated. Fine. Now, I know my block. The first thing, I know my file. Very first thing, I know my file. This is my file in HDFS. Now, then I know my block. I know my blocks. After knowing the blocks, I know my input split. I know my input split. Based on the input format, it will calculate input splits. I know my input split. Guys, yesterday I have sent you a small diagram, which is I have drawn the classroom. You can look at the diagram, which is there in WhatsApp group. I have sent to everyone in the group. Let's say this is my HDFS file slash. Let's assume that it is HDFS. This is my blocks. This is my blocks. Now I know my input split. Now I know my block. Then I know from what is my input split. From where to where I need to read, I understand. But someone should be there to read, right? Someone should be there to read, right? Yes or no? You know your block. You know your range, your limits, like from where to start, from where to end. You know that. Now someone should be there to read your data. So first, you know your data you have stored in HDFS. You know your blocks that are distributed across the multiple machines, and you know the range. From here I need to start, and here I need to end. You know how to what is the start, how to calculate the splits. You have calculated the split. Now this is a logical representation. Now someone has to read the data. Someone has to read
Yes.
the data or not,
Yes, they have to read it.
right? So now the data is there in my split now. So let me now here the data is there. In the split, the data is there. And see, in the split is just a logical representation. Data won't be there. Data will be there in the blocks only. Listen, this data has to be read, no? Either line by line, either whole data will read at a time. Someone should be there, right? Who will do that? There is something called record reader. There is something called record reader. There is something called record reader. Record reader. The name itself is telling. Name itself is saying that it will read record wise. It will read record wise. Here what is the record? Record is nothing but one line. What is the record here? Is nothing but one line. Look at here the source code, guys. One more time. Look at the source code, guys, here. Text input format. So when you take a text input format, you have something called record reader. Okay. What type of record reader it is? It is a written type, guys. This is the create record reader is your method. Create record reader is your method. Okay. Create record reader is your method. What is the record reader, guys? Look at here. Line record reader. What type of record reader it is? For a text file, it is line record reader. What is a record reader? Record reader is your record reader is abstract class. Your record reader is abstract class. So why I have asked you to go through Java for initially, right? Because this is the only reason. Because so many things will be in Java internally. So if you look at the record reader class, this is abstract class. Your record reader is abstract class who will take the key value pair. Okay, and where you have some method called initialize method. This is very much important. Who is showing they have some experience, who is telling that they know Mapreduce program. Please be aware of record reader. Record reader plays very input split, input format, input split, record reader. They plays very big roles. Ground your Mapreduce framework. There is something called initialize. This initialize, what it will do, it will take your input split. See here what it is taking. It is taking your input split. Input split also one class, guys. I mean, this is also abstract class, and whoever implements this class, they'll provide the what is say implementation for it. Okay, it will take the input split. I'll tell you what is the task attempts, so don't worry about it at this time. It will take your input split and it will start reading. How to read? We should know the logic to read, right? I know I have taken the split. We should write this logic to read it from what is the starting offset, what is the starting position, next position, how to read the complete line, right? That one will be doing initialize method. There is something called next key value, because in an input plate there may be so many records. In input plate you may have so many records. I didn't show here. Yep, let me take something. Okay, let me draw here itself. If you have input split, let me take some sample input split file. I have one record here, one line. I have one more record. 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 Very first time the record reader cursor will be here. The record reader cursor will be here. I mean it will be pointing first record. Okay, now I'm checking, is there next key value? Next key value, y key value. I'll tell you that y key value, you'll come to know very soon, not to worry. So next key value, the next key value method says that, is there any other lines or this is the only line? Is there any other lines in the file or this is the only line? Yes, there are lines. If it is lines are there, it will return true. If the lines are not there, it will return false. Okay, get current key. You are reading this file, right? So your record reader will read the the input split in the key value pair format. So it will divide your input split into key values. So key will be something here, key will be something here, and this is the key, this is the key, and this is complete line is a value. So get me the current key, get me the current value, show me the progress. These are the method. There are 6 methods, guys. Get current key. Get current key will give the key of the current input split. Current value, value of the current split. Get progress and close. Get progress and close. These are the methods are available in a input record reader, not input split, record reader. Please guys, try to understand one more time. So you have input split. Now the split has to read. How it has to read? Record wise. So who will read? Record reader. Who will read? Record reader. If you are using a text file as input format, you have your own line record reader. You have your own line record reader. The line record reader reads the data from the file. I mean input split. Look at here. Initialize method. What the initialize method is doing? It is taking the file split. It is taking the file split, and it's taking the your line record reader maximum length, and that's maximum length is nothing but your integer maximum value here, and it's setting the starting position. Look at here, starting position, end position. If it is any is the data is a compressed or non-compressed data, so all that information is taking. Look at here. So your input split, your block is nothing but a file, right? Taking the file system and opening the file, I mean open your input split and started reading the data here. Your line reader is reading the data. It's reading the data. What is the starting position? What is the end position? How it read? How it is read? And what is your delimiter? Till your delimiter it has to read, right? Till the delimiter has to read. In a single line, it has to find the delimiter. The delimiter will be end here. The delimiter will be here. Till the delimiter matches, it needs to read the complete line. Okay, it's reading it, and the positions, the starting position, end position. So what we are doing in initialize method, we are reading the data and reading the data in the key value file, and that is what we are doing in initialize method. You don't worry if you didn't understand this code, because you are not going to do anything with it. This is what happening internally. Okay, and next one, is there any key value? Next to key value, because once it is processed the first line, it has to go to next line. It has to go to next line. If I want to go to next line, I should know whether the next line is there or not. If it is not there, I don't go. If it is not there, I will not go. I will not go inside to process the data. Okay. Now it will return is the next position is there or not. Next key value is there or not. Your record reader tells the next key value is there or not. Your record reader will gives you a current key. You are processing current split, right? Give me the key from it. You are processing the current split, right? Give me the value from out of it. And what is the progress? So you are finished the reading the file, or still you are reading the data? So that's what your record reader says. Now once the record reader reads the data, once the record reader reads the data, once the record reader reads the data, that data will be given to whom? Your map method. That data will be given to whom? Map method. Record reader will call RR. Will call RR. Record reader. These are record reader. So guys, is everyone is clear about the record reader? I want to be everyone clear on this, how internally the framework works. Later we'll see the examples. So examples and all we can do that. The hands-on you can do that. The hands-on and all it comes with the your logic. If I give a problem statement, Srini might solve it differently, Suprit may solve it differently, Sunil may solve it differently. But you should know how to solve. If I use some statement, how internal it works, you should know that, right? Yes or no? So I want everyone should clear about the record reader and input split. So I don't want to make use as there will be something magic record reader. There is something like input split magic that they will take care of the magics. So I don't want to say that way. So that's why I'm clearly showing you the source code of it. That's why I'm showing you the source code of it. This is what happening internally. After reading everything, it will keep with it. Okay. After keeping with it, to whom I need to give? I need to give a map method, right? Let's look at here. Let's look at here. Let me take a map class, or else I can take it from any existing program. Let me take it from any existing program. Instead of searching and wasting time, let me take it in this program itself. Mapper. Oh, it is not loading. Yeah, it is loading. Please wait, guys. If you guys see at the corner of this Eclipse tool, it is loading. It has to load whole the source code of this file. We cannot see this source code of the file until you have something called Java decompilers, or until something you have either you might have generated these class files using Maven. You have something called in your mapper class, guys. Everyone look at here. Your context. This is a context. And this is not actually a class. This is your actual class, mapper class. Where is this? Mapper class. Okay, what it is? It is a mapper class. The mapper class is started here. Go inside the mapper class. If you go inside the mapper class, you have something called map method. You have something called map method. You have something called setup method, and you have something called map method here. You have something called map method. What your map method is taking? Key in. What is input key? What is the input value? We'll talk about this, guys. Tomorrow I'll make sure that I'll make you understand this. So your map method is required key and value, and it will give return also key and value. The output also will give. It will take a key in, value in, and give this output as a key out, value out. Okay, and let's come down little down. So we need to understand one more thing here. There is something called run method. This is the most important. Another, we need to understand the mapper. The run method. This run method will be called. If this run method is calling, what it is calling? It is calling map method only. Okay. What this map method is taking as a parameters? Get current key. What? Okay. Very first, it is in the loop. What it is taking the first the loop? What is the condition it is checking? Next key value. What is this next key value? It is a record reader's next key value. It is whose next key value? It is record reader's next key value. It is record reader's next key value and is record reader's key value. Current key. It is record reader current value. So it means your record reader is reading the data and keeping and is giving to whom? Map method. Is giving to whom? Map method. Everyone understood, guys? Is everyone understood?
Okay,
Is
Ravi, yes.
Yes.
if you see the references of the get current key, yes, it will go to respective input readers. Let's say run context. I want to see here you have something called your get current key. This current key will call from the record reader. Record reader has our get current key, get current value. So it will go from the actually this is line record reader. It is implemented by line record reader. Line record reader is giving you your what is the current key, what is the current value. So your map method is required key value pair. Your map method will take key values and it will also gives output as a key value. That we will see tomorrow in detail. If anyone has any doubt, please stay back and